Top 10 facts about the Ukraine-Russia conflict. 2017 brought significant changes to Ukraine as 6.4 million Ukrainians rose above the country's poverty line thanks to increases in minimum wage and a boost in social welfare programs. However, after 5 years of conflict with Russia and 39% of the country still living below the poverty line, the future of Ukraine's poor remains uncertain. Here are 10 facts about the conflict in Ukraine and its effect on this Eastern European nation. Top 10 facts about the Ukraine-Russia conflict. 1. The Ukraine-Russia conflict began in 2013 when the former president of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych, declined a resolution that would allow for Ukraine to engage in more economic activity with the European Union. 2. After Yanukovych declined the deal, protests began in the capital city, Kiev. 3. When police intervened, the number of protesters increased to contest the brutal treatment from the officers. 4. Yanukovych fled the country in 2014 amid the turmoil, leaving Russia to occupy Ukraine soon after. 5. Currently, the Ukrainian military is fighting rebels in eastern Ukraine who are being supported by Russia and who wish to annex and become part of Russia. 6. The Ukraine-Russia conflict has killed more than 10,000 and wounded at least 23,000. 7. Since 2014, fighting between the two countries has damaged more than 700 schools as well as 130 medical centers. 8. Breaches in ceasefires have endangered more than 200,000 children who are often put in harm's way and lack access to safe learning spaces. 9. The front line of the war stretches 280 miles across Ukraine, blocking much of the country's access to trade and supplies from neighboring countries and the UN. 10. In 2017, UNICEF, along with non-governmental organizations and utility companies, worked to provide more than 962,000 people clean drinking water in both government-controlled and non-government-controlled areas. 11. They also provided vouchers for cash and hygiene education to 160,000 people living closest to the front lines, 30,000 of them children. 12. UNICEF offered psychosocial support to 82,000 children and caregivers within 15 kilometers of the front line through community support centers. 13. The organization also provided 700,000 children and their families with mine-risk education. 14. Furthermore, the rehabilitation of 87 schools and kindergartens within 5 kilometers of the front lines, provided by UNICEF Aid, allowed 138,000 children to return to school, with teachers and aides receiving emergency training. 15. In order to provide proper healthcare, education and shelter for its citizens, Ukraine requires consistent aid from the United States. 16. Americans can alleviate the effects of the violence in Ukraine by contacting their congresspeople and representatives and asking that they support the international affairs budget. 17. Ongoing support from the U.S. will help to improve the conditions of those in the middle of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. 18. USAID supported elections in 600 communities throughout Ukraine, with many of these townships experiencing their first true election process. 19. For 2018, Ukraine requires $23.6 million in aid in order to properly improve the country's predicament. 20. The top 3 main areas of need are access to clean water, sanitation services and hygiene products, $13,619,000, child protection from violence, $3,200,000, education, $3,050,000. Although there is still a long way to go in ending the Ukraine-Russia conflict, some important steps have been made. The Ukraine government passed a healthcare reform law in October, which was signed by President Poroshenko, to improve the quality of care provided to its citizens and reduce corruption in the system. The work being done by UNICEF and USAID in Ukraine is helping to alleviate the damaging impact of the conflict. The next step will be working to end the Ukraine-Russia conflict once and for all.